Welcome to Switch Comics. It is Wednesday, which means it's new comic book day. I got some cool books to show you. There will be a few books that are actually from last week because Diamond delayed their shipment, and I'm sure that affected a lot of people, so, you know, this week might be the week that you were picking up these comics anyway. I know we got on our order in on like Friday, I think it was, so, you know, it was kind of late, but let's go ahead and get into it because I do have quite a few books. I got a nice little healthy stack to show off today. So, exciting. A lot of cool things came out this week. So we're going to start off with Marvel, starting with Hulk #1, the new book by Donny Cates. Donny Cates ended his run on Venom. Ewing ended his run on Immortal Hulk. And they traded places. So now we have Donny Cates on Hulk. And which we read Venom, was that last week or the week before? Pretty cool, very cool start. And again, same thing here, very awesome start on Hulk #1 here. Now, I'm probably playing a little bit of catch up because I didn't read Immortal Hulk. Again, you know, I haven't been into comics for too long now, a little bit over a year at this point. And so Immortal Hulk had already started, and it's just one I never got around to getting to and reading. Seemed cool, my brother's been reading it. I don't think he's finished it, but from what he said, he has quite enjoyed it. So, you know, but I kind of know a little bit of what's going on. And regardless, even if you haven't read the Immortal Hulk series, I think you'll be able to pick it up. You know, with these #1s and stuff, you know, they don't try to make it reliant, usually anyway, on rules like you had to read that whole series beforehand. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe there's a lot of I don't understand. If you have read Immortal Hulk, and you know, you're like, you probably don't understand a lot of this, then, you know, let me know in the comments because I mean, even though maybe I don't understand everything, I quite enjoyed it. Had some cool Iron Man stuff in there as well, which I'm a big fan of Iron Man, so that was nice to see. But I'm just really curious to see where Donny Cates is going to go in a new direction. And, you know, keep an eye out on this one because, you know, Donny Cates, he doesn't touch anything without introducing some kind of new crazy awesome character. So I picked up that A cover, and then I also picked up the blank variant. I also picked up the blank variant for that Venom last week. And this might just be something that I start getting into more lately. I don't know. Just at least on books that I'm like really positive that I'm gonna, you know, want to maybe get something done later. I always think it'd be super cool. Now, there's a lot of artists I like, but just off the top of my head, especially like for a sketch, I would really like some Stegman work. I think would be super, super awesome. I'm a big fan of his stuff in black and white, and I think that would look quite good. So moving on now, we have Thor 19. This is starting the new arc, the God of Hammers arc, and I gotta say it's pretty cool. They don't introduce a character because there was, if you follow Key Collector and stuff, they were saying maybe this was going to be a first cameo appearance. It was not. I'll go ahead and let you know, but it is setting up this new character that I think is supposed to be revealed in issue 21, from what I've heard from whatever different sources and stuff. Regardless, this story has been good. Someone has stolen Mjolnir, and Thor's not a happy camper right now. So he's quite angry. And I'm again not trying to really spoil anything, but there's some good action, some good just really awesome moments. I love how powerful this Thor is, and so whenever we get to display this, just feels like limitless power when compared to something else, because there'll be this monster or whatever, and you know, Thor's just like, I don't have time for you, you know? Like, I got other things I'm trying to focus on right now, so I'll just completely obliterate someone. It's pretty fun to see, but I am very excited. Like I said, this is the beginning of a new arc, and I think it's going to be a good one, and I don't know if this is going to lead into that Thanos stuff that was, you know, that flashback, or not flashback, but what would you call it, when it's in this vision that, you know, that he had when he was dealing with the Black Winter. So I don't know if that's going to be popping up in God of Hammers or not. I know there was that tease with the Timeless stuff, which I think is starting pretty soon, so it would make sense if that coincides. Now, moving on to another new series, we have Hawkeye Kate Bishop #1, which is pretty awesome because today is the first, I think they're releasing the first 2 episodes of the new Hawkeye show. And by the time this video is out, I've already seen at least the first one. If both videos or both episodes have come out, then I've already watched them both because I want to be staying up tonight and watching them. But anyway, I mean, it was a fun series. I really liked it. I had to pick up this cover B because it is a gorgeous cover B. I remember seeing this thing in the preview book, and I always tell everybody, make sure you're checking out your preview books. For me, it's not that big of a deal because I work at a comic shop. I place the orders for comics, so I know, things are going to be coming in, unless they screw me over that they've been doing here lately. But anyway, that's, a thing about Diamond and whatever else. But regardless, it's not as big of a deal for me because I'm much more hands-on. But if you're wanting to, make sure you pick up when a super sweet cover comes out, make sure you're checking out your preview books. They give them away for free at your LCS. I can guarantee you that, unless they run out or something. Or unless they're not a very good LCS. I don't know. I don't know. I can't say for everybody's LCS. I know that's what we do. We order a whole bunch. We give them to people so people know what to order. Because there's lots of cool things coming out all the time. Those things come out monthly. So, pick it up and check it out. Marvel and DC has a free one that they make. And there's also the giant one for the indie stuff that's only $3.99. So, definitely check it out. But anyway, Hawkeye, super cool. I'm very excited to watch the show. And it's the perfect timing. Literally the same day as when the show comes out. So that's super cool. This was a fun little start to the intro of the series, which I do believe is just a mini-series. I'm pretty positive. And it's setting up kind of this mystery, something weird's going on, and Hawkeye, Kate Bishop Hawkeye, has to, help out and figure out what's going on. So I think it's going to be super fun. I did enjoy this first issue quite a lot. And man, I love this cover so much. I just can't say it enough. I think it's a super cool cover. It's super fun. Well, I was probably covering it up, but, they got the shadow of the guy with the gun standing while she's just trying to lounge and enjoy a nice day at the pool. But moving on now to Doctor Strange, or Death of Doctor Strange, I'm sorry, number 3, which I think this is the first cover appearance of the, what are they called, the Three Sisters, or, I don't know, I think they're just called the Three Sisters, but this series has been super cool, and this cover is incredible. Like, it is super, terrifying. I really like these 3 characters. I think, I don't think there's a lot, so far anyways, the depth of them. They're just kind of some bad guys, but I think their character designs are super unsettling and have a really cool, the 3 of them have a really cool, maybe not individually, they wouldn't pop so much, but I think the 3 of them come together and make this really terrifying team, I guess we'll say. But this series is great, and again, it's written by Jed MacKay. I'm loving everything that he's doing. I hope he doesn't spread himself too thin because he's writing so many different books right now, but man, they're all good. He's writing this, Moon Knight, Black Cat. I know he's writing Magic the Gathering, which I'm not reading because I don't know anything about Magic. But I know he's writing that, and I feel like he's writing one more series. He's doing some stuff with Spider-Man. Now, granted, I think it's also the stuff with the Spider-Man has to do with Black Cat. So, I mean, I guess that has something to do, which I kind of want to see if I want to pick up those issues. I'm not sure. If you're reading them and you're like, yeah, you definitely should. If it, matters to the Black Cat story, then let me know. We also picked up the cover B. Chris, and I've said it before when I talked about the channel and hopefully things changing and different things going on. Well, there are changes happening, but Chris is working at the shop now, but he's working part-time there and part-time still at his old job. And I was hoping he'd be able to join me on these Wednesday videos talking about comics. But for me to be able to make this and edit it and get it up on YouTube and everything, I have to do it a little earlier in the day. And he's still not getting home until very late. And he hasn't had a chance to read all the comics yet. So, unfortunately for now, as long as he's still part-time at both places, it's not going to work out for him to be on the channel on Wednesdays. But hopefully, sometime soon in the near future, he'll be able to, be here and talk about comics as well with me. But we picked up this B cover because he's a big fan of Doctor Doom. And strangely enough, now that I'm thinking about it, I gotta say, I don't Yeah, Doctor Doom was not in a single panel of this comic. So I don't know why he's on this cover. I didn't even think about it until until I started, talking about it. Bit of a spoiler there, I guess. I mean, if you're into Doctor Doom and you're picking it up for that reason, maybe hold off. But I do recommend it, though. It's a really good story, and there is something that, I mean, I guess, yeah, there's a first appearance in this issue, and it's a pretty cool. And there's the art in this is, like I said, with these, well, not this cover, with the introduction of these characters and another character related to them, that appears in this issue. The art's just creepy, and I'm digging this dark horror stuff that Marvel's been putting out lately. Even though this isn't really a horror series, but this art is very, very scary and dark, and I'm really digging it. And then last Marvel book we picked up, let's see, this is Iron Man 14. I picked up, I think this is being called just Infinity Saga covers that they're doing, which I'm super far behind on Iron Man. I need to pick up because he's doing some cool stuff, and it seems like now he's got like God armor or something. I don't really know, but anyway, I had to pick up this cover just because. I mean, it's just a really cool movie cover with all the different, well, not all, but a few different armors and stuff. But anyway, it seems super cool. What's going on? I just need to take some time and actually get caught up on Iron Man. If you're reading it, let me know just how badly I need to get caught up, I guess. And then I'm like very far behind on all my Star Wars stuff, so we have a few here, and at least one of these, maybe two or maybe even all three of these came out last week. I don't remember. I kind of mixed them together. Some number of these came out last week, and maybe at least one of these came out this week. So we have Star Wars High Republic Adventures number 4, Monster of Temple Peak, which is a series I have all of it, but I haven't started yet. Then we have number 2 for High Republic Trial of Shadows, or Trail? It's Trail, my bad. I don't even know what it's called. Haven't started that one yet either. And then I should have read this one. I'm caught up on this series. I'm probably going to read it after I'm done with the video. I do apologize. I have been enjoying This is High Republic Adventures number 10, just a regular series. I thought this was one of the spin-offs, which I haven't started any of the spin-offs yet. So yeah, I should have read this one, but I didn't get around to it, I guess. And then only one DC book, and it actually wasn't on my pools. It was just a cover buy, and I don't do too many, but man, this cover is gorgeous. I'm a big fan of Poison Ivy, and this is, I think, Jenny Friesen, or Friesen? I'm not sure how to say her last name, but man, it's just an absolutely beautiful Poison Ivy cover that I had to have. And it's funny, I was sitting there, I was like, man, I don't, I'm really trying not to do too many cover buys anymore, even though I guess I did the Hawkeye one, and I guess you could count like that blank cover and whatever. But anyway, and then I was like, really for DC, I definitely don't do cover buys for DC books, because again, I'm not a big DC guy, as you can see. I had a big stack of Marvel this week and no DC books, but that thing is gorgeous. And there's a Harley one that goes with it, and I think that came out a couple weeks ago. I might have to go back and track that one down to match it up, because I think it's just an absolutely stunning book. And again, a character that I really enjoy. So then moving on to the independent stuff, and I think only 2 of this is from this week and the rest is from last week. So starting off with Echolands 4. Again, the artwork in this book is absolutely ridiculous. A lot of times in the story, I feel like I don't really know what's going on, but it's okay, because I'm just captivated by the art. Something that's really cool in this issue is the first 9 pages are all connected, which I've complimented this series on before, and I actually have to go back now and check out some of the other books, because I don't know if they've ever done this before. It's the first time I've noticed it, at least. The first 9 pages, and I'm counting, like that as a page, are all connected, and they usually do where they'll put the 2 pages that are connected, all the art will flow through it, and it's beautiful how they do it. But if you can see, I'll show you, so that's the first page, and there's an explosion there, and that explosion leads into the next page, and then what is here? Some bubbles and stuff, and then those bubbles lead into the next page, and it does that with 9 pages, and that's incredible. I really have to go back and check, because I don't know if they've ever done that. It's something that I've never thought about. But again, the way that this artist blends all the panels and it's just so creative and interesting, and this book is almost like a big mural rather than a comic book. It's almost like an art book, just looking at this amazing mural of a story with a story intertwined, and it's just super cool. I really really like this book, and again, it's not even the type of thing that I'm really into. It's super fantasy, this weird world of, just everything's just super super fantasy. Not really what I'm into, but I just can't help it. It's gorgeous. The art is so creative and just well done. And I can't get enough of it. It's a book that I'm excited to see every time it comes out, because I feel like they're constantly pushing the limits of how to transform the art. The art and the story is all one thing, and like I said, a mural is the best way I can describe it. It's like looking at hieroglyphs, almost like an Egyptian hieroglyphs, and it's all art, but it's telling a story, and it's super cool. And then the last book I have that I think came out this week was Fight Girls #5. It's the last one of this series, and it was a pretty good little finale. There was a twist that I didn't see coming. Looking back, I was like, man, maybe I could have predicted that, but I don't know. I don't always try to see what's coming up. I thought it was a fun little ending. Maybe a tad bit rushed. Regardless, I had a lot of fun with this series, moving throughout it. And yeah, my least favorite issue was probably issue #4, which at the shop we were talking about it, and everyone else seems to really like. I thought it was, not that it was bad, but it was a little underwhelming compared to the other ones, because everything else was so grand, and they're fighting giant scorpions, or giant lizards, or spiders, I don't remember. It's always giant something, though, like these big things, and giant sharks, and this and that, and these crazy environments. And then the 4th issue is just, they're just the 2 women fist fighting, and, just, it ends with a chokehold, and it's like, it could have been better, I think. But, yeah, I mean, I didn't know, because there was this, backstory of, there was the spectacle, obviously, fighting all these giant things, but then there's backstory of who is Xandra Blackwater, I think was her name, and what's her deal, and this and that, and everything's going on. And, so, I was curious what was going on, and you get all the answers. Obviously, this is the last issue, so we figure out what's going on, and I didn't really expect how it came out exactly. So I thought it was a fun little book, a fun little twist, and had some cool things in it. Like I said, if anything, I kind of wish there was maybe one more issue. We had a chance to spread out this ending a little bit. I feel like it would have been a bit better, but what are you going to do? Still pretty awesome. Now moving on to a few books that I'm pretty positive were all from last week. We have Not All Robots #4. This book is one of my favorite series that nearly no one is reading, I think. It's an upshot book. It's super cool. I think the writing is really, really strong. So again, if you haven't, read this book or heard about this book, the idea is that, we're in the future, robots have taken over basically all jobs, because they're just more efficient, this and that. Every family has a robot that provides for that family, so they go to work every day, the robot, and they make the money, and the humans don't have to do anything. But as a side effect, humans are kind of perceived as pets almost, and there's also these weird glitches, they call them, because the robots are very sentient. They have feelings, they have personalities and everything. And, they'll kind of snap, and there's been lots of robots that have just murdered their whole families. And the big thing that happened in the first issue is they take out, I forget the city, I think it's Atlanta or I think it's Atlanta. But it's super far in the future, and pollution's destroyed the earth and everything. So all these cities like live in these protective bubbles, to filter the air and everything. And so one of the robots shuts off all the air to Atlanta and kills everyone. And there's a lot of things that happen with the trial and the reaction to the trial of that and everything. And it's a scary book because I think a lot of robots ruling the world kind of thing. You think of Terminator, and it's not quite like that. We're living amongst the robots; they're living amongst us. They're not really being treated fairly. I feel like it's not really one thing. There's a lot of topics it touches on, because I feel like the robots aren't really being treated fairly, as well as the people aren't being treated fairly. Because the robots kill people and they kind of get away with it. And again, because it's like, are they an appliance or like are they a person? Because they are very sentient and have personalities and everything. So, and they have to stand trial, and they kill the whole city of Atlanta. But it's a super solid read. It's one that really, I hate getting to the end of the book because I know I have to wait another month for the next one to come out. I do think it is a 5-part series, so next issue will be the last, and it will be sad to see it go. Hopefully it'll continue on, but like I said, I don't feel like I've heard anybody talk about it. I know at the shop that I work at, I think there's maybe 2 other people that I've convinced to read it, 2 or 3 I think, and I'm like, yes. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. I strongly suggest it, at least if you can go out and pick out the trade once it's completed, because it is really, really good. And I keep meaning, I want to make a video one day talking about all the comics that I have on my pull list, and that one is one of my favorite books I'm reading right now. So now, moving on to, what issue numbers? Where's the number on this thing? On the back here. Mall number 3. This is another 5-part miniseries. This is a book that started out kind of slow. I was enjoying it, but the first, I guess this is number 3, so it wasn't too bad. The first issue was pretty slow. The second issue was pretty slow for the most of it as well, but then the end is when it started getting weird on issue number 2. And then this book as well. It mainly holds off until the end of the issue as well, but definitely things are getting strange. You get to see more of what's happening, even though I don't understand what's happening. But it started as a story about these 2 women going to a, I don't know what you would call it, some place where you can go and recover from your trauma and talk about things and whatever. And it's like a camp, I guess, I don't know. Because one character, one of the main characters, she's been raped, and the other friend is there to help her, and she's there for support. And so she has all this trauma that's built up, obviously, and you get to learn a little bit about the struggles of the friend as well in this issue. But so she has all these traumas, and her friend's just like, come on, let's go to this, it might be good for you, and now we're kind of getting into like horror. I don't really know, which it's taking a cool little weird twist. And by the way, this is the B cover. I thought the A cover was good, but I saw this one and I was like, this one's really sweet and I have to have it. So it's been a weird little story, but I am enjoying it. And yeah, if you start reading it, like I said, especially that first issue, moves a little slow, kind of introducing the character, the environment, everything's going on. The second issue, I mean, it's not an action thing, but it's creeping up and it's getting creepy and cool, and I like it. Now moving on to Nine Stones number 4. This is a weird book, and I've said it before. This is not a book that I can recommend to everyone because it is weird. It's just a strange book that at times I also don't really know what's happening with this. It's very gory, but not in a way of somebody shooting shotguns and shooting people's heads off with a shotgun or something, or chopping them in half with an axe. It's not gory like that, but there is an excessive amount of blood in these books, and it's just strange. There's this weird dark spirit thing in the main character that, or not in, but it appears. I don't really know. I don't really understand it still. But it's definitely this dark, evil presence, and I don't know what's going on with it. The guy is his son, or he's the son of a big drug dealer, mob boss type guy, and I don't know. It's a strange book, but I'm also like really intrigued by it. So I don't know if you want to pick up the first issue or so and check it out. It is kind of a very obscure one too. It's Behemoth Comics. Maybe you could check it out. It's weird. If you check it out, don't judge me for liking it, because like I said, it's a strange one. And then the last book we have is Eat the Rich #4, another one that I think is about to finish. Pretty sure it's a 5-part series, and this has been a super cool book. I love this cover so much. That is such a beautiful cover. But this book has been a little bit different than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more, well, I guess it is still horror, but more expected horror. And this took a bit of a twist, diverted my expectations, and it's not so much scary, but it's weird. And I don't really want... Well, I guess, we're 4 issues in. I can kind of talk about it. I hate talking about spoilers, but at the same time, I want to sell you the book, so I have to tell you something about it, because I do enjoy the series. So basically, it's this, this chick that doesn't have a lot of money. Is kind of, I don't want to say a nobody. That's really rude, but she's nothing fancy. And her boyfriend is very has a very wealthy family, and so they go to visit them. I don't know if this is supposed to be for a weekend or whatever, and so she thinks she just has to get used to the hoity-toityness of of this super rich family, but discovers that their family hires people, and part of their contract is that when it's time for them, and they pay them extremely well and everything, but their contract is when it's time for them to retire, they get killed. So they have a lot of people under their hire that have these very expensive medical bills and things like that, that if they didn't have this job, that they would be suffering throughout their lives. So they're like, okay, I'm going to live a good life while I can, and then get murdered on my way out. And they obviously they eat the servants then, and so she's getting used to this lifestyle, and it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit strange. There was a twist. I think that was last issue, where once you eat the meat, the human meat, you crave it like forever, I guess. And which that part, I don't think that's how that would work in real life, but that's how it works in this story, and it's super weird and creepy. And in this issue, she talks about being hungry, because it's been so long since she's had human meat, and it doesn't matter what she eats. It's like she feels hungry, and it's troublesome. But she still obviously isn't okay with what's going on. But yeah, it's a super cool series. I really enjoyed it, and like I said, it took a diversion. I thought it was just going to be like her running away from people trying to, kill her and eat her. I thought it was going to be something simple like that, but it's been quite different. And even with that, there was another diversion in this issue as well. But I'm not going to tell you what happened. You have to read the series and find out. Now, that is the last book I have for you today. Like I said, big stack. Mainly because there was probably, 6 books or so that were from last week, because Diamond sucks and can't ship out things, and I think next week's delivery is also going to be screwed up, so we'll see what happens with that. But a lot of cool books, a lot of stuff that I've been waiting a while for, that I was pretty excited to finally get to read. Definitely go check out the Hawkeye series if you haven't done that already.